The first two matches of the CSU Collegiate Invitational offered very competitive soccer here at the Walden Soccer Complex. We had a 1-1 draw and a 2-1 second half victory. Now we turn to the one people circled coming into the day as we watch the second ranked team in the country and the national runner-up from 2014, the Tars of Rollins College out of Winter Park, Florida, getting set to take on Lee University in its first year as a full-fledged member of NCAA Division II, postseason eligible, and the Lady Flames come in here as the Gulf South Conference preseason favorite. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Columbus, Georgia. This is Stephen Williams here on Cougar Sports TV alongside my partner, Tony Frankovich. Tony?
And good afternoon, everybody. It's wonderful to be back to college sports, college soccer, and college football this time of a year.
Rollins, the national runner-up from a year ago, the visitors on the scoreboard out in the all royal blue uniforms, the yellow numerals and the white trim, and they will start like this for head coach Elisa Shuck. It'll be Mary Spring, the senior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that's in goal. Kara McMeekin, Shalisa Kroll, Catherine O'Brien, along with Kat Weiss, Maura Johnson, Megan Block, Allie Jenkins, Madison Taylor, Emma Bloom, and Nicole Fisher for the Tars. And on the opposite side for Lee, who is in the white tops, the maroon shorts, and the dark letters and numerals, it will be Haley Gribbler, the redshirt sophomore out of Springboro, Ohio, that's in net. Katie Cloud, Nicole Blanchard, Laura Thacker, along with Kayla Leskivar, Mackenzie Bricker, Susanna Ront, Summer Lanter, Morgan Sandifer, Mia Hollingsworth, and Kenzie Chickowitz. That will round out the starting 11 for Lee University. Rollins will be working right to left as you're looking at it, Lee left to right, and Tony, two highly anticipated programs and a good one to start off the season with.
That's exactly right. You know, I'm really puzzled to see how good Rollins is this year. We know they will be good, but I always looking at CSU game against Rollins. You know, it seems to me we always running into them.
And was Maura Johnson, the forward, leading it down the left side, banged it off the defender and over the end line. A corner kick coming up here in the first 45 seconds of this contest. They'll play it short and quick, and Johnson will strike one into the center, headed away out of the 18-yard box. Battled for on the near side of the field in the corner, and a clearance attempt deflected out wide. So Rollins, a quick early start, charging towards that net.
Yeah, they are very attacking-minded team, and they are very direct team. And this little set play situation, you always expect something from Rollins, some kind of gadget play in there.
Rollins got all the way to the national championship game at the Division II level in 2014. Those in the Columbus area and around this Columbus State program, as they're going to give this one back to Rollins. Those around the Columbus State program familiar because it was Rollins that ended Columbus State's season down there in Winter Park in the national quarterfinals. Lee hoping they can have that kind of success, and this is their first year that they're eligible for the NCAA's postseason.
We'll see how good Lee is. So far, they got a pretty good shape, and they're very organized, seems to me, defensively. And Rollins, I think this is game for Rollins to lose. Only, unfortunately, last year we beat him in CSU. We beat him early in the season, and we lost big one. So it could have gone the other way, but, you know, hopefully this year will be different.
Lee on the opposite side, their team in their very first year as a full member of the NCAA, that didn't deflect the coaches' thought that they were going to be very good this year. The Gulf South Conference coaches picked the Lady Flames as the top team in the preseason, and that's a conference that has good soccer. West Florida, who we just saw win on this field, North Alabama, who has been good, and some other good programs in that conference, yet Lee is the one that they picked as their favorite.
Looking at just purely, I never seen him play, but looking at the players, they know what they're doing. There's quite a few athletes on that team, you know, and that helps when you have athletic kids on your team.
This is the year that Lee has been waiting for as a program. Chris Hennessy kind of falling into the job as an assistant coach and now taking over, still listed as an interim women's head soccer coach, but he is the man pulling the strings of this program right now, and it's a program that kind of played to get to this year. They had a couple of players that took redshirt years last year so as not to burn their eligibility, so that they would be eligible for more years during their championship competing time. So it's a group that set their sight on 2015, circled it on the calendar, and it's finally arrived.
I'm happy for them. So far, what I'm seeing, they're very good team. They're very organized. This is going to be pretty hard battle for Rollins. And it's not, I think, out of question that they may not come out winners out of this match.
Rollins working with it, getting near the attacking third. Taken away defensively and given right back. This is Kroll playing it out wide on the right. Tapped inside the box. A chase that time by O'Brien. And it's scooped up on the part of Gribbler, though, and she'll punt it away.
They're playing out of the back. They seems to be want to play soccer, quality technical soccer. Center forward is very good speed. Here she goes.
Deflected
Summer
away.
Leitner.
McMeekin that time, the one who cleared it. Off the back line for Lee. Towards the net, it'll roll wide. Spring just let it roll out so she can have a chance at a goal kick here.
They came to play. Lee came here to play and compete, and I think it's really good news for NCAA that they're going to have first year here, and I think they're going to be a very important team.
Well, Chris Hennessy didn't shy away from his opening 2 games as a collegiate head coach. No big deal. You open up with number 2 Rollins, and then on Sunday you have to play number 5 Columbus State on their home field. So I'd say you're not being very shy about that opening game schedule.
I knew somebody like that, who is not shy to play top teams in a country right off the bat.
We've been programmed to think that way here, and it always makes it fun for those of us that have to watch when that happens, when the other teams decide to do the same thing. Johnson inside the 18 box. First shot put on by the left foot of Maura Johnson, squibbled just wide out to the left.
Good idea. She couldn't turn her hips a little bit to direct that toward far post, to hook that ball to far post. Went a little bit slightly over her foot. That's why I ended up on near post.
I know something you like, though. She didn't touch it. She just took it right away.
Look, I watched today Germany and Poland game, and I don't know how it ended up. Germany was 3-1 up. And they had opportunities, like couple opportunities like that to finish the chance, and he took extra touch and he got blocked, German players.
Johnson again with it on her left foot, deflected away for the moment, able to retrieve it though. Working one-on-one here on the near corner, going up against Morgan Sandifer. Crossed into the box, deflected around. Rollins still controlling possession in the attacking third. Finally taken away and cleared by Hollingsworth. Not cleared out of danger all the way just yet, though. They'll play it back onto the foot of Fisher. Fisher strikes it wide left. Off target for Johnson, who may have been offside as well had she pursued it. And it'll belong back into the hands of the Lady Flames.
I'm telling you, I'm very impressed with Lee, the way they defend. That's very organized. They don't give much room to Rollins behind to play. So Rollins have to play a really sophisticated game, intricate passing game to penetrate through. These kind of passes, I don't think it's going to work playing at these deep ball. There's just not enough room back there.
Foot race here. It'll be won by Megan Block, but the pressure put on that time from Hollingsworth. Forced it out over the side, so it'll belong still to Lee. For Rollins, it was a historic year in 2014. Alicia Shuck has had some good years down there in Winter Park. 14-3-2 in her first season as a head coach. She went 16-4 2 years ago, but last year 20-3 at the helm of that TARS program. Got them all the way to the national championship game, and she was named the NSCAA Division II Coach of the Year for that part, and they have high expectations again as they bring 5 of their top 7 scorers back. It's a group that has tasted what it's like to get there, and they're hoping that they've got one more victory in them before it's over.
And, that's correct, and impressive thing is that there's a lot of home state players in Rollins. There's very few out of state, similar to us, similar to Columbus. That's even more impressive.
That's something you're very familiar with your background. The state of
Yes,
Florida, largely packed with very good soccer talent.
and it is. It's pretty big state. It's now what third by population, 19 million people, and a lot of people play south, especially down in South Florida, anywhere on the west coast, Southwest Florida, Tampa area, Fort Myers, and the other coast, Miami, greater area. A lot of Latin flavor down there, a lot of skillful players.
Rollins, a very high-powered offense a year ago. Second in the country in assists, third in goals scored, averaged 3 goals per game, and they're searching for their first here in 2015 as it's cleared over the fence and out over the sideline by McMeekin.
It does appear that Rollins playing that offensive formation 4-3-3 with 3 forwards, and hopefully that no wonder they have good athletes. They definitely can score some goals.
10th minute of action here from the Walden Soccer Complex in Columbus, Georgia. Lee and number 2 Rollins scoreless in this first half. Game number 3 of our CSU Collegiate Invitational. 4 games today, 4 more coming up on Sunday. Already 2 games in the books as Tampa and Newberry played to a 1-1 draw to start off the day in a game that kicked off at noon, went all the way through double overtime with no goal after 1-1 in regulation. And then it was West Florida coming up here and getting the best of Tusculum, 2-1 the match just before this one. Columbus State, the host school, number 5 in the country, and Lynn University set to do battle around 7:30 tonight. Played into the center to someone wearing the wrong jersey. So easy clearance there. Good idea, just not a player on the end of it.
Yeah, that's frustrating for coaches for sure.
They go again, working on this left side. They've tried to be there majority of the first half. Bloom couldn't win it away, though. Gave it up.
She's marked tight, all of them. O'Brien, Bloom, and same with Johnson. They all marked very tight, and they have much room.
Weiss, the midfielder, out wide left for Johnson. Johnson, the
That's
cross,
a good service.
diving grab on the cross, that time by Gribbler, but hit it low and hit it hard.
That was pretty decent cross that time. That just nobody was running into other than one person on near post. We always saying you need to frame the goal. You got to have somebody on near post, somebody in the middle, a little bit behind 6-yard line, somebody on far post. It's hard to score when you're relying only with one person in there.
It's a game of numbers. 4 defenders back there. You need to have matching numbers.
Exactly. It's sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect cross, but if you harder you work, luckier you get. More people are running in there, ball's gonna bounce eventually in the path of somebody.
Long goal kick by Spring. Bounces around a couple of Lady Flames as the teams exchange. 33 minutes showing on the clock here in this first half. 2 teams, preseason favorites in their respective conferences, doing battle in a season opener here, and what has become an annual event that has very, very good collegiate women's soccer every year.
I mean, usually you don't see this kind of level in any other, either men or women. You don't have top teams playing right off the bat. It don't happen. I think this is great. For me, I don't mind playing a right big team. So what I as a coach looking, not what we obviously what we can do, but also I want to see that the other team expose my players, see where our weaknesses are.
In the end, it's all about results, but it is about finding out what you have early before you get to the conference season, which is what really matters. Out wide to the right, this is Hollingsworth. Her blast is way high over the crossbar and into the back netting.
It was a little bit, Hollingsworth tried to do it one-timer, but it's very hard to hit that ball. You got to really be uh, technically really strong player to going away from the goal to hit that ball.
One shot per side in a game in which you feel right now the team's just trying to feel each other out. See the style? There's no real film of this year's version of these two programs for you to watch. So you're learning on the fly right now. It's about who can adapt better. Here's a good win one-on-one for the Lady Flames. The shot deflected and saved. Still not out of clearance. Here's a second attempt by Blanchard. Not nearly as strong as the first one, and it goes over the bar. But a good look that time by the sophomore out of Granville, Michigan, Nicole Blanchard. Nearly put Lee on the board first.
That was very, very good play. Very technically strong play. You know, they were moving ball good run behind the defense, good shot. I mean, I think even better save there. Unfortunately for Lee, that ball bounced into path of defenders. But look, you can see that they really playing man for man all over the field. That's everybody is marked. There's nobody open on this field right now. So they are serious about this game, really. They wanted to win this game.
A handball called against Rollins in the far corner of the field. Mary Spring making the great save. And you expect that out of the senior now. She's second in the program's history in shutouts. Has over 20 of those. She's third in history in goals against average, averaging less than 1 goal against per game. And she's fifth all-time in that program's history in saves, closing in on 200 of them. And she may need another one here. Is this a dangerous spot? Almost identical to a corner kick coming from the far side.
That's a good ball. Wow.
Into the middle, headed high. Over the crossbar that time by Kinsey Chickowitz.
That was good in-swinger, what we call, on that corner kick, and it was a near post, just header wasn't, it was contested header, but it was good set play. I mean, obviously, both teams are good in their set plays.
Both teams well coached, well conditioned. That's what you expect out of top flight collegiate women's soccer. 0-0, 15 minutes and change gone by here in game number 3 of the CSU Collegiate Invitational.
They definitely, I think they know a little bit. I'm pretty sure Lynn knows a little more about Rollins. They dropping, they don't letting any chances. The ball goes behind them, no breakaway chances. I noticed when Rollins tried to play that ball, defenders were dropping. So they are well coached, you know. They know what Rollins can do.
Sandifer able to stop the run there of Johnson, who really loves this left side. She gets out there wide, and she's been dangerous. Both on the shot and the cross to this point, and that time she deflects it over the sideline as Sandifer tried to clear it deep.
A couple of times I thought she crossed that on time, but I would like to see her maybe cut the ball a little bit and try to use her right foot.
Trying to cut back across that time for the Tars was Megan Block. Good piece of defending on the part of Hollingsworth, though. The forward dropping back into the back line to help out.
Johnson seems to be really good athlete. I would like to see her take on people more. You know, as I cut it inside of right going toward the goal, I think she could be very strong in that aspect of the game.
It's not the first time that Lee has played on this field, even though they're in just their third year as an NCAA school. They came here a couple of years ago and took on Columbus State in just a regular season non-conference match. And they got the best of the Lady Cougars on their home turf, something that doesn't happen very often, as the Lady Flames walked out of here with a 4-2 victory over a good Columbus State team that won 15 games that year.
We'll see how this heat going to affect all both teams. You know, obviously, you would expect that Rollins will be easier to handle this heat. You know, it's about 95 degrees, I think. So it's but tempo is pretty good. It's a little bit cagey game. It might be throughout cagey game.
We've seen the Heat play what seemed to be a little bit of a factor, especially in game number 1 earlier today, as there's a good ball played forward, going for Sandifer, trying to cross it down by the corner, and it hits right off the post and stayed in play. There's an unlucky bounce that time for Lee. That ball squared up the corner post and stayed right in play. What looked to be, at the very least, a throw, if not a corner, ends up being Rollins' possession. So there's a little bit of a break early for the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah.
I know those poles are sturdy, but they seem to usually have a lot of give in them. That one did not.
For us here in our box, it's a little bit hard to observe everything. We got to move. You and I like dancing around.
Hey, if you're not fleet of foot, you're not welcome up here.
I feel like a weasel out of a hole, just moving head left and right.
Well, we have windows. If you'd like to stick your head out, feel free.
I wouldn't mind to do that.
It'll belong to the Lady Flames. A throw in over on the far side of the field. Back and forth they've gone. Not a lot going up on the scoreboard, though. Lee with the early shot advantage. 4-1 in favor of the Lady Flames. A dangerous shot from both sides, though. Johnson with a dangerous one early. The only one that Rollins has had went just wide of the left post. And then Blanchard on the opposite side requiring a big-time save by Mary Spring.
Should have been 1-0 for Lee. I mean, that chance should have been converted.
Contact there. And it's going to belong to Rollins. We'll see which facet, whether it's a throw or if the head referee did blow the whistle.
They're absolutely marking everybody tight. There's nobody open on this field. I mean, everywhere, all over the pitch.
Matt Jackson, our head referee here in this contest, as this one gets loose, knocks a chip up into the net, and it goes through for Rollins, and they are on the board first, just over 20 minutes into this contest.
That was a little bit really defensive miscue. Somebody, about when I was, that's commentator's curse. When I just about complimented how tight marking is, all of a sudden somebody forgot their assignment, and there was wide open player on far post.
Emma Bloom, the junior out of Maitland, Florida, has goal number 1 of the season for the Tars. They scored in bunches a year ago, and here they are now with their first of 2015.
This might be one of the easiest goals that Emma would score. She was wide open, and what for me, if I'm coach, obviously it would be upsetting that nobody recovered to defend that. She had the time to drink a soda pop and ask keeper which side you want me to shoot. That was a little bit inexcusable. Sometimes you can't just stay with your assigned players. You just have to react what's going on the field. There was no pressure on that. They had a chance to come and close her down, or at least put her under pressure so she don't take that easy shot like that.
And it didn't have to be a great shot because
No.
she really didn't strike it all that
Not
well.
really.
But the goal is very wide when you're that close.
She was very close, and keeper a little bit stayed on the line. I'm surprised she didn't came out charging to try to cut the angle to make herself bigger.
And it looked like Gribbler, though, expected to have a little more defensive help than that. Rollins on the board first, though. 21st minute of action. Bloom gets it in. Now Johnson trying to get it set up for 2 as 2 people collide and go down in the box, and they play on.
That's probably a good no call. They just their feet tangled. There wasn't it's innocuous challenge there. But here Johnson is really dangerous on this left side. There you go. She really shielded that ball really good.
Counter-attack opportunity. They don't have numbers, though. It's 2-on-3, and they've got 1 offsides if they.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. You look at it.
Run was good, just that extra touch that attacking players had the extra touch, and she didn't play it on time, and chance got wasted.
Hollingsworth, the one that was leading it there. Lanter was trying to make the run, but the pass not played, and then she went way off sides.
It's hard to hold a run. If you don't play that ball behind, if you play on time, probably going to be breakaway because you breaking that last line of defense, that defensive line, offside line. you're going full speed in there while defenders facing with their back. So you have automatic advantage 2-3 yards at least. So that would be breakaway. If that ball is played on time, even on highest level, that's a breakaway.
Johnson wide of the mark. That time she struck it with the right foot, so showing you that she's got both feet that she can be dangerous with.
So far, she's the most impressive player for me. Johnson is, she's showing a lot of desire, a lot of technical ability, and strength. Very athletic kid.
You would expect Johnson to be very good and the one that is the most dangerous, considering she was an all-Sunshine State Conference player a year ago, led this team in goals with 15 of them. I don't think anybody's shocked to hear that number when you watch her for just a few minutes on the pitch.
That's it. I never really seen her play, but I see it right away.
Lynn looking to level this match at 1. Rollins out to the 1-0 lead. Emma Bloom with the early goal to give Rollins the advantage. 21 and change ticking down on the clock here in this first half. Played into the center and got through everyone. Chikowitz tried to let it go past the first and touch it to herself, but couldn't get enough of it. And it's back on the foot of Johnson, who plays it into the center for Weiss, and they'll switch field. This Lee program, no stranger to winning. 4 consecutive national championships for the Lady Flames from 2008 to 2011 at the NAIA ranks. Then they made the move up to Division II, had to take a couple of years where they weren't eligible for the postseason. It didn't stop them from winning even more at this level, and now they're finally eligible. But it's a program that has a very storied and rich history.
It obviously NAIA had different recruiting rules, and they could than NCAA has a lot more limitations. So NAIA teams, some of them are probably just as good as top Division I teams. Some NAIA teams. I know Lynn University, when they were NAIA, they recruited kids from England, from everywhere. I mean, big time. Oh, what a start!
Big save by Haley Grimbler there. Bloom was trying for goal number 2 of the season and of the first half as she blasted that one from nearly 35 yards out, and Grimbler just tall enough to deflect it up and over the crossbar.
That forward line is something else. They're pretty talented.
First substitute coming on of the match. It'll belong to Rollins. It'll be Samantha Collin, the junior, from right there down in Florida, coming on into the midfield in place of Weiss. So corner chance coming for Rollins.
A lot of these set plays that you can learn a lot about team, because not many times there's so much you can do, So what they do now, there's a lot of these things they're going to do during the regular season and playoffs. There's no magic out there.
Corner played outside the 18, and it's going to turn into nothing at the moment if Lee can get the clearance, and they finally will.
Well, CSU field is quite wide and big. You got to have a good foot, really, to make a good cross here. It's a perfect field if you are passing team to knock the ball around, spread the team around, and have your possession also for corner kicks. You got to have a good foot. This is 80-yard wide field.
120 yards long, 80 yards wide, the maximum you can have at this level, and it is a little bit different for someone like Rollins, who plays a little more narrow down there in Winter Park. The field not as wide as this through ball is broken up and deflected back into the hands of the Tars.
Johnson again.
Johnson gets on the end of it, past one defender with the right foot that time. She bent it, but bent it outside the post.
I thought she had the opportunity to just touch pass, that ball to Catherine O'Brien. She was making good run, little touch pass. I think that would have been breakaway there. She decided to go on her own. We always say as the coaches, shot is always good option, but there's always maybe better option.
You love to have top speed up there on your front line, and you can see top speed is in the arsenal of Johnson. Lanter playing with it. They leave it off. They'll come out wide and play it out to Chikowitz. Chikowitz back into the center, hits it with the left foot.
Ooh.
Good-looking shot, and that rattled around the goal support on the wrong side of the net. Good-looking left foot there from Chikowitz.
It was good shot, and before that, Lanter made some sweet moves. So I like that. I like that little bit flair of the players.
That ball was about 3 feet away from being in that upper right 90 and us being even at 1.
I thought maybe it was even closer than that.
Spring with it. I'll punt it away near midfield. Second touch taken away, though. Saw Johnson just kind of grab onto the back there of Suzanne Arendt.
He's an experienced player, you can tell right away. That's a great run. Emma O'Brien.
O'Brien, this is the first collegiate action she's seen. And how about coming on as a freshman and thrown into the starting lineup of the number 2 team in the country? It tells you about the talent level she has.
She is talented. She's athletic as well, and she making all 3 center forwards, forward line, very athletic. So that was good run off the ball from the flank to the middle, and just didn't have that backspin on it to slow it down for her.
This was a veteran starting 11 for Alicia Shunk and the Rollins Tars, but there are 3 true freshmen that are in the lineup for Rollins. So 3 of them, McMeekin, Crowell, and O'Brien. First collegiate action and starting for the number 2 team in all of Division II. Grand Valley State, the number 1 team in the country, and deservedly so. They're coming off back-to-back national championships, got the best of the Tars in the championship game a year ago up in Louisville, Kentucky. Rollins sitting in the number 2 spot. Columbus State, who is the host of this Invitational, is number 5. Those 2 teams will not play this weekend, but they will play next weekend. Down in Winter Park, Rollins will host Columbus State in a rematch of last year's national quarterfinals. So that one could be a lot of fun.
It's an important game as well, you know, in terms of rankings, if you will. But
this is Chikowitz.
Good run, Chikowitz just held that ball too long. She could have passed it earlier. There's 2 players wide open there and onside.
Now O'Brien showing the Jets as she turns it on down the far side of the field. And it's going to be a foul called.
You know, Steven, this is actually what we coaches call, you know, it's professional foul, good foul, you know, because obviously the left back was struggling to catch up with O'Brien's speed, and that was really good foul, what we call.
Katie Cloud, the sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee, committing the foul from behind that time, and it does slow that run, allows the defense to catch their breath a little bit and get back and reset things.
I don't think Rollins was terribly disappointed neither. You know, they can also regroup.
It is a blistering hot day here on a Friday early evening.
It's a good service.
In Columbus. It's been upper 80s when we started the day at noon. It's jumped into the mid-90s, and this is about the hottest time right around this time of the day here in West Georgia. Sub coming on for Rollins.
Charbroiling time.
Megan Welliver, another freshman, this one out of Austin, Texas. So they stepped out of the Sunshine State.
That's about 3 players I think they have out of state, you know. Come on.
Corner into the center of the box, headed away and cleared over the side. Leskovar that time with the final clearance. Another Rollins throw coming up as the Tar back line will retreat back into position. They had 8 players in the box for the corner. The other 2 from the back line come back, and they're hanging out around midfield. Lee looking to get it out of the attacking third of Rollins, finally able to do so, and now there's a lot of open space to work with. Strong touch that time by Chikowitz, too strong. And it's going to be played all the way back to Mary Spring, who will get it out of danger just in time before Hollingsworth was able to bear down on her. Now Rollins with some green space to work. Down this left side, and guess who? They get it on the foot of Johnson, who nearly got it through the legs of Sandifer. Instead turned
did well
back.
there. You know, she closed her down very quick before Johnson could turn. Very good play.
5 shots per side, 1-0. Rollins, the number 2 team in the country, living up to the billing so far. They hold a 1-goal edge over Lee University with 12 minutes to go in this first half. That one bounced up into the arms of Gribbler.
It is definitely Rollins' complete team. They are complete everywhere on the pitch. Good midfield, strong defense, really outstanding forward line and keeper. You said everything. You know that's outstanding goalkeeper is Mary Spring.
This is a Rollins roster that's built to win a championship. But at the end of the day, it comes down to actually getting there and doing it, and giving yourself another chance. Chikowitz drops it off for Lanter in the box. The shot is blocked. The clearance is deflected. Back to Lanter. Corner of the 18. And she'll dribble towards the corner. Look for a cross to play. Puts it on the foot this time of Bricker.
She seems to me she's Bricker is needs to get involved more. You can tell that she's a finesse player, that she's key player, creator on this team. You know, if they can get her involved a little bit more, you know, they might be a lot more dangerous.
Nikki Himes back in, or rather in for the first time. A senior out of Weston, Florida. Comes in place of Johnson. So Johnson not in there now on that attacking line. So we'll see how things adjust. Bloom with a good touch there with the head. Sets it up now. Welliver driving down the right center. Tried to get it squared up and unable to make clean contact with it. Rushed it a little bit and did it catch it squarely.
She turned the ball to the side a little bit instead of running straight to the goal to go for a goal straight. She tried to set up what we call shot in her comfort zone, you know, to swing those hips around to have a solid shot. But, you know, it would be a lot better if she went where she was going straight to the goal and force defender to make a play on her. She's fresh. They are tired. It's a 30th minute of the 35th minute.
Into the corner, and it'll roll harmlessly over the inline. So a goal kick coming up for the Lady Flames. 6 shots per side. Only one of those 12, though, has gone in, and that was off the foot of Emma Bloom. A breakdown off a free kick defensively in the center of the box. So the part of Lee allowed Bloom to stand one-on-one with the goalkeeper with the entire net in front of her from about 12 yards.
I think they will learn from this. That definitely not going to happen again, especially when they go with the film analyzing this match and just say, hey, you guys need to be more proactive instead of reactive. I mean, they wasn't even reactive. They were just standing there.
Lee with another opportunity. Hollingsworth unable to get the shot through. It was deflected down. It looked like McMeekin, the one that did a good job there to step a foot in front. And now they'll set up the counterattack. Down this side, Hames now with it. Able to get around Sandifer. Looking a lot like Johnson, who she just replaced, and earns a corner.
You know, this is time, as I was saying too, it's after 35th minute. This kind of weather, you know, you may want a fresh player, fresh attacker to attack those defenders. None of those defenders are, they tired. Look at their hands on their hips, you know, and this is the time. If you have quality, fast, another player, you know, even if it's not as good, say, as Johnson, but she playing against tired player.
Corner coming up from the near side of the field. It's Welliver, the freshman that comes to the near side. She'll swing it towards the near post. Deflected by Gribbler, didn't catch it, but a defender able to step in the way. And Lee will get it back as it's touched out right near the Lee bench.
Well, I know is it a design set play, but seems to me both teams try to cross the ball off of corner or near post. They're attacking that near post. Maybe width of the field, that's not their intention, but it seems to me that's where they're going.
That does make it a little tougher if you're Rollins, someone that practices all of their preseason on a field that's a little smaller. First game, you have to come out here and try to play on a much wider field. Everything you've been practicing in preseason now, it's a little bit longer to get to that point.
It's a lot harder to. I love runs on near post. You know, it's harder to score. You really have to know what you're doing, how to flick the ball, and because you don't have much of goal to shoot at. Nice flicks.
Welliver out wide to the right. Kelly McCormick, fresh into the match.
I don't know. Maybe it's only me, but I think that this heat doesn't affect Rollins as much as Lee. At least the way I see it. You know, I don't see anybody on Rollins putting their hands on their hips.
Couple of subs in for the Tars. Courtney Gladden on for the first time. Out there up top, attacking on that left side for Alicia Shuck. If you're used to playing on a smaller field, is it easier to be used to that and go to a larger, or be used to a larger and go to a smaller?
Depends what style you're going to play. If you have a skill, I think Lynn can play in either, you know, because they seems to be spreading around field, so it doesn't bother them to play on a bigger field, because they seem playing good possession, making good runs.
So much more room to work on a pitch that's this wide here. Welliver,
nice.
Right side, gets a shot off, hits the outside of the net, wide of the right post. And another good look. Welliver getting closer to the net as Lee sends a couple of subs on.
You know what I like? I like combination wall pass. They beat defense, and that has to be better. You know where I want that ball to be played. From coaching standpoint, you're always aiming for side netting, far post. This second time they're hitting ball on near post.
Sydney Rayburn in for the first time, as is Lauren Peters, a freshman out of Casstown, Ohio. On the opposite side for Rollins, Rachel Easterling, a freshman out of Sarasota, down in the Sunshine State, on for the first time. Mistouched for a moment, now hit into the center.
Lee's defense is definitely tired. I think they can't wait these last 5 minutes, and whistle's going to go for halftime.
Foul committed there by Rollins. It goes against Paxton Sickler.
That's one thing that probably Rollins and CSU are blessed. They have a really deep bench. You can get fresh players, and you're not going to lose a beat.
Rollins with the 1-goal advantage, under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Came back in the 21st minute. Bloom getting on the end of a loose ball from a free kick in the box, and an easy goal for her. Here's a blast from beyond the box that's deflected. Rollins has done a nice job on long shots of stepping in the way and blocking them off. Shot put on that time by Kayla Lescavar.
Rollins slowed it down. They had a really great opportunity for counterattacks. It was Nikki Himes streaking down the flank, and they decided to bring the ball back, play it back instead of forward. Defense was flat. She was running full speed. Defender was struggling. They should have played that ball and tried to go for another goal.
Third of our 4 matches here in Columbus, Georgia on this Friday. We'll have 4 more for you coming up on Sunday. Both of these two teams will play on Sunday as well. Rollins will play in the 11:30 a.m. time slot. That is the second game on Sunday morning. They'll take on Newberry, who drew Tampa, another Sunshine State school, 1-1 in today's opener. And for Lee, it's a date with the host school and number 5 team in the country, Columbus State, at 4:30 Eastern time on Sunday afternoon. Cross put in and a good stop on one hop. Gribbler sliding down to smother that one.
You know, you can tell sometimes, these forwards running toward the goal. They don't looking wide forward. They don't looking to cross the ball to somebody. For most of these runs I've seen it, they try to go right up to goal. That tells you they're playing on smaller field sometimes.
Ball played over the top, and there's a reason that Welliver was so wide open. The offside flag put up on the far side.
If it's me, I would, Welliver, all these new forwards, I would get him involved heavily right now, these last 5 minutes. Play ball through because defenders are struggling. They are physically a little bit exhausted.
There have been good chances and a lot of good runs. There's a lot of really good goal scorers on this field today, challenging the defense at every opportunity. Chasing this one down just beneath us was Courtney Gladden, kept it in the field of play, now gets it back. Gives it off to Sickler. Sickler trying to play it through. Welliver now on this near side, unable to keep it in play. And now we'll have a sub coming on for Lee, as it'll be Sarah Standley, a sophomore out of Indiana.
Yeah, they definitely need Mackenzie Bricker to get involved more. I mean, you can tell that she's a very high quality player, but we hardly saw her today.
Closing in on a minute to go in this first half. Rollins, the 1-0 edge, but it's been a rather evenly played first half. Lee had one really good opportunity and a good save made by the Rollins keeper. On the opposite side, Rollins converted its best opportunity. That's the difference in a 1-0 match.
That's a not bad, sometimes directional clearance. Hey.
Ball bouncing around in the attacking third for Lee. It'll finally be taken away and cleared from danger on the part of Megan Block. Collin trying to switch fields, put it right on the foot of the opposition, and now a late chance here with 20 seconds to go. Lee driving forward. This is Rayburn. Going to dribble just too far and now is in trouble, and they're going to have to hurry. If this is a corner, they have 12 seconds. They better go hit it, and I don't think they're going to get it off.
No.
Counting down at 7, trying to race to the corner as Villafuerte looking to hit it, and he didn't get it inside the corner there to take the corner attempt, so that'll be a frustrating way for Chris Hennessy to watch it in. But overall, a very evenly played first half. Couple of good chances for both sides, but Rollins with the best look, and they finished.
Exactly. They finished off of that miscue, defensive miscue. The best chance on the game for me was Lee. Lee had the chance breakaway. The keeper saved that. I mean, for first time, I'm pretty impressed with Lee. We'll see second half. They look to me a little bit tired. They didn't do many subs, especially on the back line. So we'll see when these fresh forwards of big-time starting forwards from Rollins, when they get back on the field, how that's going to affect the game.
10 minute the halftime break here at the CSU Collegiate Invitational. 1-0, the second-ranked team in the country, Rollins, on top of Lee. As we take the halftime break, we return in a few minutes. We'll bring you your second 45 here from the Walden Soccer Complex in Columbus, Georgia. At the break, Rollins 1, Lee 0 here on Cougar Sports TV. 1-0 where we stand, the number 2 team in the country, the Tars of Rollins College, on top of Lee, the Lady Flames out of Cleveland, Tennessee. Stephen Williams and Tony Frankovich back here with you in Columbus, Georgia at the Walden Soccer Complex. The sun has drifted off behind the clouds, and I think everyone in attendance is a little bit excited about that happening, hoping to cool off what has been a blistering hot September afternoon here on this first day of the Division II soccer season for these 8 programs.
Nobody more than us, I guess, over here on this side. The sun directly goes. There you go. Oh.
Lee goes on the attack right away to start the second 45 minutes. Summer Lanter with the moves. Eventually ended up giving it away. And now the counter attempt coming with Johnson leading it for Rollins.
Lanter has some moves, you know. Just that final touch got to be better from her.
8-7. Lee had the shot advantage as this one is grabbed. Bloom putting that one towards the net. And Gribbler back in net for the Lady Flames. Plucked it out of the air. Spring on the opposite side, still in net. As these two teams get set to square off for the final 44 and change in this season opener for both. A foul goes against Lanter, knocking Weiss to the turf there in the center circle. Rollins, the difference in the game right now, a goal that came off the foot of Emma Bloom. 21st minute goal for Bloom to make this a 1-0 game. Clearance pushed forward by Thacker as they play back line to back line.
Bricker and Lanter got to find a way to connect. Seems to me that those two could make some damage if they look for each other, look for combination play. Bricker seems to be a good creative player. She just, I don't know, she faded away, didn't get involved. She has a really sweet foot, and she can pass the ball good. Let's see, can they connect somehow?
Played forward, and now we have players on the ground. A pair of number 4s there, Katie Cloud in white for Lee and Catherine O'Brien for Rollins. It's a foul against the Lady Flames, and now a free kick coming from outside the 18-yard box by about 10 yards. That'll be Nicole Fisher to strike it.
5 people in the box. That wasn't too good of a strike.
Yeah, didn't hit it well, low on the ground, and never had a chance to get to her players. And now a chance to counter. This is Lanter, one-on-one, working against Allie Jenkins. And Jenkins able to win the battle. That Rollins back line plays so high up the field that if you counter quickly, there's a lot of space to work.
You have a chance. Obviously, you have to have athlete to get behind them.
Weiss, the midfielder, playing it down the near side of the field, headed away by Thacker. Thacker, another clearance. But right now, everything jumbled in the middle. Couple of Lady Flames colliding there in the center. Bricker and Lanter, the two you were just referring to, trying to get on the same page.
I didn't mean that they're going to run into each other, but, you know, it happens.
You got to be more specific with your instructions. Down the near side of the field and mishit by Thacker. It'll go out for a Rollins throw. So far, what you'd expect out of two teams picked to win their conferences in the preseason poll. One, the defending national runner-up. One, a 4-time national champion at the NAIA level. This is soccer at its highest level in Division II, and you're seeing it right now between these two programs.
I think that for Lee, there's a bright future ahead of him. I really do.
Sometimes you watch NAIA programs that had success come up to the NCAA ranks and not have it. Something is different, whether it's the recruiting, whether it's the NCAA standards that are there. But this doesn't strike you as one of those cases. This is one that you think is around to stay. Diving stop made by Spring. Little unsure of whether that was going to stay on frame or slide just wide, but Spring didn't take any chances with it.
That was Bricker, her right foot. I mean, she has a both left and right foot. Left seems to be better than right, but she was getting involved now.
This is Bricker on the ball again. Reverses field, coming left. They play it out wide, trying to work it to Blanchard, who had a really good look at one early in this contest that Spring made a spectacular save on. You watch Lee play, though. They play much more through the middle of the field and switch field a lot of times versus Rollins, who loves to get it out on that far left side to Johnson and let her go to work.
And from this side, O'Brien doesn't run really down the flank. She runs more in the middle. It tells me that she's probably center forward came here, and she's playing wide right forward in this formation. She's still in the middle over there. So.
This one gets all the way through and onto the foot of Taylor. Taylor trying to win it one-on-one with Blanchard. And nicely done on the part of Leskovar.
They have some bowlers, Lee, you know, obviously Leskovar had some moves, so is Lenter. Lenter, I love the way she plays, you know, she's a real deal. She's a real deal.
This is Lanter here and gives it off. Trying to get it back to her, just runs right through the defender and they play on.
She has to play it right now, and she did.
She played it early onside. This is Bricker all alone.
Got somebody on far post.
Trying to cross it into the center, had a player making a run to the far side instead of taking the shot, and the cross was deflected away.
If she crossed it a little bit early in the path of defender before she got closed down, there would be wide open chance for two players in the middle that Lee had. In this case, like you said, she should have taken that shot because that passing lane was closed.
And it was just her and the goalie, Mary Spring, one-on-one. It was a tough angle. But
she has a good left foot, you know. I think she would have finished this. She would have at least really good attempt at a goal.
A chance to shoot it where? To the far post, inside net.
She had a lot of goal to shoot at from that angle.
Johnson now on the right side with it. Playing games with Thacker, but Thacker held her own. And it's cleared away. And here comes a foul from behind against Bricker, who didn't think she did anything wrong, but sprawling to the ground was Nicole Fisher.
She did. She pushed her in the back, you can tell from here. You know, referee let it go, and but as soon as Rollins stopped playing, you know, he had to call free kick. Seeing Weiss lining up for this one.
Block stepped over it. Weiss chips it in. It's headed forward on the part of O'Brien, but Gribbler grabs it out of the air.
That's out of the lab, you know. She crossed that little flick of a far post, just wasn't flicking a path of Lynn Player, meant to keep her.
Seen a couple of goals so far today in this Invitational, scored offset pieces like that. That's how Rollins scored earlier. West Florida got a similar goal where they connected together on a good set piece. That's why those fouls in the attacking third are so dangerous. It's a scoring opportunity. Out wide, coming down the near side of the field. This is Katie Cloud up from the back line. Cross into the center. Got a long way through there before anybody got to it. Popped up into the center, still bouncing around. Lanter chasing it. Cloud ended up with it. And that attempt on the part of Nicole Blanchard was blocked in front of the net.
Lee came out to play second half, you know. I mean, they are attacking. They want to score the goal. You know, they do have a quality. They have a couple of bowlers that I mentioned. You know, to me, the best player with the skill, most move is Lanter. Has beautiful moves.
Touch forward, O'Brien. Good touch to herself there to beat one defender right in front of her own bench. Now she needs some running mates. Into the center. Touched forward. Here's a good flick. Johnson one-on-one with the keeper and popped it high and all the way out of the field here at the Walden Soccer Complex.
You know, she was worried about keepers going to crash her there. You know, they just barely touched that ball by charging keeper. That would be good. That should have been 2-0. Player of Johnson's quality should have scored that goal. You know, I'm sure she would like to have that back.
What a touch, though, on the part of Emma Bloom right there in the center.
Touch.
Just flicked it right over the top and set Johnson up for what had an opportunity to make this 2-0. Instead, Rollins still with possession. Johnson gives it off up top. Kroll into the center for Weiss and back to Johnson. Big battle there. Johnson holding her own. Slight in height,
That's
but she is
2-0.
going to make up for it. She goes far post inside the net, and Johnson finally able to get one in. So you said she'd like to have it back. She got it back, and it's 2-0 Rollins.
That's a wonderful goal. That's a big time goal. She beat defender, stronger defender. She proved herself that she's very strong like came in very fast in the box before any center back gonna close her down, and that release was quick. Keeper didn't have no chance. That was just a textbook goal.
Maura Johnson had 15 last year to lead the Tars, and she has her first in 2015.
That front line is very, very dangerous. I'm very impressed with O'Brien, Johnson. They are very, very strong players.
So 2-0 now, the deficit that Lee has to try to dig itself out of.
Bloom seems to be perfect target man, and they work off of her.
She's playing in that center forward spot, and you have to have good touch to play in there the way that Rollins likes to play it through the middle.
You have to stay with your man when ball goes to Bloom. Both of outside forwards making run. O'Brien and Johnson, they right behind their backs.
O'Brien blasted that one right off the shoulder of Thacker, heading the other way. We'll see if Rollins chooses to let that back line slough off a little bit and not come so far up now that they've got the 2-goal advantage.
I don't think so. I think they're going to play their game. You know, they obviously they want to push up and press, and that's exactly what they're doing. You know.
2-0, as coaches referred to it, the most dangerous lead in soccer.
No doubt. You know, momentum can turn. That goal, if team that trailing 2-0 scores a goal, that right away sets for some reason panic into team that was leading. So for me as a coach, believe it or not, though, I love 2-0. It's kind of nice score, but I feel a lot more comfortable with 1-0, you know, because I know players are, especially when you score that second goal, you're most vulnerable.
The ball played over the end line, a corner kick coming up here for Lee. It is Bricker that will come to the near side to take the corner. It'll be very few of those that we've had here in this contest so far. But very quickly, Lee could steal some momentum right back if they could find the back of the net off this set piece. Bricker hits it high and far. Bounces around, finds the foot of Blanchard. It's headed away by a defender. Spring got off her mark, and a defender in the right place at the right time for Rollins keeps the clean sheet.
Lee had their chances, you know. You cannot say. I think they deserve the goal. They need a goal.
That was Blanchard again that had it on that left foot of hers. She's very close to having 2 goals in this contest.
Well taken, you know. She controlled the ball perfectly. That wasn't easiest of balls to control, and she shot it at the goal. There was just too many defenders on the goal. There was like 3 or 4 defenders plus goalkeeper in there. I mean, in that situation, you have to just blast the ball when you have that many buddies in a way.
Goal kick coming up here for Spring.
Here comes the sun again.
Making it even more difficult to see from this side as it starts to set over the far side of the field. You see the shadows. Those people in the bleachers across the way, they're enjoying life right now. A lot of shade.
Whoever made design of this complex, I protest.
It wasn't me, so don't blame me.
I won't.
Rollins, the 2-0 advantage, under 32 minutes to go here in the second half. 32 minutes left in this second half, and then one more match to be played here on this field this evening. Day 1 of the regular season for all 8 of these programs. Here's a blast by Bloom, but it's high and wide to the right of the net, as both teams are into double figures now in shots. Still a rather evenly played contest. Rollins, though, the one that has found the back of the net, and they've done it twice.
They're definitely more efficient of 2, you know. But as you said, this is pretty much even game. It's not like number 2 going to completely dominate. It didn't happen here.
I think you'll see Lee in the polls, just didn't earn the respect of getting in the polls yet in their very first season eligible, but they'll be there before the year is done. This is Bloom again, drops it back, Weiss.
There's still third of the game left, see can they hold this high tempo.
Weiss gets it back from Jenkins, plays it wide to the right, Fisher trying to get it out left for Johnson, but had it taken away, and now space to work if they get the counter in play. Unable to do so, though, is Lanter trying to run it down, and instead it'll be played back by Madison Taylor to Spring back there in goal. You see, though, that line is still high, and when it starts to deflect away, there are counter opportunities to be had.
Yeah, I would like to see one good ball. As I always mentioning, Bricker got to get the hold of that ball and try to use Lanter over there. I think that's a key that they can score a goal. Something like this, it's a little bit more direct, but she's a player. She's aggressive, and I think she has something there. I think she's not finished for this game. I think before it's over, this one she made a little bit of splash. Lanter
that time forced Taylor to just spray it over the sideline and give it back to the Lady Flames. Lanter with great foot speed and hasn't run out of energy just yet. This is Bricker, left foot cross into the box. The run just about a step late.
That was good cross in that what I call no man's zone, where there's dangerous zone for for defenders to touch it. Just the keeper did very well. She came out and challenged that.
Weiss looking in the middle, trying to get it to Welliver. Intercepted, and now again, numbers not that poorly, an advantage there for Lee. They had a shot and instead played it sideways and allowing Rollins to retreat. Lanter trying to connect with Blanchard. Good head forward there by Bricker. And nicely cleared by Taylor. Rather Jenkins that time.
Well done by Jenkins. That was high quality stuff. Did what they call that when you put the ball over the head of a defensive player. It's called sombrero. Sombrero. That's what it's called when you kind of just chip it overhead. That's popular sombrero.
Played to the near corner. Thacker with the left foot clears it forward. Connects with Blanchard. And now if Lanter can get on the end of it, she'll be in business.
Two really outstanding players against each other.
Lanter one-on-one with Jenkins, and then a second defender stepped in the way of the shot. It finds the foot of Bricker, though, on the opposite side.
Oh,
got it on the foot.
Yeah.
That time of Hollingsworth, and on the near post, could not sneak it in.
What do you think why she didn't score there? Left foot. It's a lot longer reach when you use your proper foot away from the goal to tap that ball in. She tried to cross her feet and get with her outside of her right foot.
A lot tougher to control it that way.
It is it's awkward, so she should have used left foot or slide on there. That would be goal. That would be 2-1, brand new ball game.
The chances have been there for the Lady Flames, just unable to capitalize, but still 27 and change. This is a slow ticking 27 minutes here for Rollins. Looking for victory number 1 after 20 of them a year ago. Another ball that bounced around in the box, still can't be cleared. Bricker trying to connect with Lanter, unable to, and Rollins again will just hit it out over the sideline as here comes that attacking surge from Lee.
Yeah, they're a resilient team. They are, no doubt. They didn't shake them at all. Didn't shook them that this lead, going down 2-0. Jenkins making some good plays over there. I think she's outstanding defender.
Believe it or not, the game that we thought would be the most tightly contested between two teams today, this is the first time anybody's had a 2-goal lead. It was 1-1 in the first contest between Newberry and Tampa. It was 2-1 West Florida over Tusculum, but that was 1-1 at one time. Now a 2-goal lead, and it belongs to Rollins. Thacker, long ball, going into the corner for Cloud, who's behind the defense. Looking for a place to cross. Right on the end line, into the center, and Hollingsworth missed it. Went right past her in the air. She had some room to punch it in, but now she'll try from the opposite side.
Hollingsworth could have been hero in matter of 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Long shot from just outside the 18 off the foot of Villafuerte.
Rollins brought Wellover back in the game, and as well as Hames, that they are fresh forwards to play in the center and right forward. Johnson is still in, so they really want to put a little bit of pressure on this defense.
Down the far side of the field, Lee again continuing to control it right now inside the attacking third. Play it back, Hollingsworth. Trying to get it to Lanter at the top of the box, was intercepted though. It has been all Lee for the last few minutes and have not been able to stick one into the net though.
That's very impressive, very impressive. It seems that going down didn't bother them at all. So they're coming. Only thing that this game is 2-0. It's a little bit Lee's own fault, a little bit lack of composure in the final touch, final finishing.
Kinsey Chickowitz back in for Lee, a trio of subs for Rollins. It'll be Paxton Sickler along with Courtney Gladden and Kelly McCormick out there in royal blue for Rollins, holding a 2-goal edge, working in minute number 66.
Yeah, it's about time, 70th minute when legs getting to be heavier.
Lanter.
Not hers.
Her legs seem just fine right now. Impressive display. They allow him to play on.
That wasn't much advantage. I would like to see that situation get called, that foul, because that's goal scoring situation there. She played that back. Referee said play on, but that wasn't really advantage. Advantage would be if ball going forward toward the goal.
And not only played backward, but played into traffic.
Yeah.
This is Chickowitz outside the 18.
Good
She'll
shot.
rip with it, and Spring will knock it down to herself. That one well struck from top of the box.
Really good. That's just straight at the keeper, a little bit directional. Couple yards one way or other, so it would have been probably very tough to save that one.
Rollins getting it onto their side and to their attacking third for one of the few times here in the last handful of minutes. Thacker will bump it out, and Rollins will have a throw.
To me, I didn't see other teams or read about it, but I think this little old league team could be top 20. Should be top 20.
Well, we're finding out a lot about them this weekend between number 2 Rollins and number 5 Columbus State going opposite against them. Nicole Fisher winning it away, and then a poor pass intended for Johnson is given back. It's a lead team, though, that has the respect of its conference mates. They may not have earned the top 25 spot yet, but when your conference coaches who know you the best vote you the preseason favorite, I'd say they know you better than everybody else.
We've seen some of these ranked teams last year. I think this league team should be ranked and will be ranked. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, because they do have good players, good organization. Coaching is really good. So we're going to hear from them a little bit this year too.
Going to be a thorn in the side of South Region opponents for years to come. Himes working forward. Had it deflected off of her. It's a free ball loose. As Gribbler, who really hasn't been that busy here in the second half, goes over to play it, needs to get it back in the box before she can pick it up.
Other than that goal, really, an opportunity by Johnson that she missed, those are two great opportunities. Really nothing else happened here.
And those two things happen in a matter of about a minute and 30 seconds of each other.
That was it for second half of offensive output for Rollins.
2-0 the score. The number 2 team in the country, Rollins, holding its own so far. 2-0 the edge on top of a very game Lee University bunch. Chikowitz going forward, trying to cut the deficit in half. Doing a lot of dribbling, drops it for Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth looking to hit one towards the net, hit it wide of the mark to the right. A lot of the shots now for Lee coming outside that 18-yard box.
They do. That was well built-up play. They didn't play a long ball. They built it through the middle. I really like this Lee team. You know, I'm impressed with them. You would think, you know, Rollins, number 2 team in the nation, would run over them, but second half, Lee's better team, hands down.
Here's a cross, trying to connect with Blanchard. Good one-on-one defending that time, and it will draw a foul. Nicely done that time on that back line, and I believe that was Jenkins again back there. No, that one.
That
McCormick.
was McCormick, yeah. They have good defenders, though. I mean, their defense is really good in Rollins. Rollins's defense, I think, can carry them far. Let's see this.
There's Himes, left side with the left foot, off the
that's in.
crossbar, and it stayed in play.
Ooh, that
Referee on the
looked
near
to me
side
that
of
was
the
in.
field said it stayed out. It hit off the crossbar and bounced straight down, and no goal for Himes.
We can see that tonight probably, but look to me, angle the way ball bounced was in. It bounced in. We are a little bit familiar over here with ball goes in and didn't call. Do you remember that one?
It did happen last year. What, Wingate in the NCAA tournament, I believe.
think so. You know, it hit the top rail behind the goal, and it was, I think in newspaper, it was that exact picture. The ball crossed the line, hit there.
Off to the left, right there behind Mary Spring in net. You see the Fighting Knights of Lynn University about to stroll into here, and they're going to look to do something that not many teams do. Walk into this place and take down the host school, Columbus State.
I don't know exactly, you know, I don't have stats, but what is our record here overall?
A lot to a little.
To a little. I know how many games in old. I wouldn't count first couple of years, really, you know, new team. But in Jay Antlick era, last 10 years in Jay's. See how they did.
Into the center. A nice job by Gribbler to pounce on that one as Rollins got a good run at it. Jay Antlick has built quite the program up here, similarly to what they've done at Lee, similarly to what they've done at Rollins. Three of the top women's soccer programs in the southeastern portion, if not all of the country.
I'm just wondering, you know, what's it always comes to money, to scholarships. You know, no Buck Rogers. You know, so I don't know what's a scholarship deal with Rollins and Lee, but what we have here is 3.9 scholarship, and being top 5 in the country. That's, I can reassure you that's a miracle.
Foul committed on the part of Paxton Sickler, and Matt Jackson, our head referee, points to his head and says, think about it and be careful, don't do that again.
I like that kind of officiating, that he's not card happy. You know, I like the referee talks to players. You know, he's under control. I've seen you. Don't do it again. You know.
This referee crew had game number 1 earlier today. Our crew from match 2 will have the nightcap of this as well, as that free kick from Thacker, who's frustrated with herself, a little bit off target and wide right.
These referees going to have good dinner tonight. They deserve one.
Hey, if you're out, it's tough enough standing in this heat. If you're out there running in it, you've earned it. Couple of subs on for the Tars.
He's going over there a little bit to the shade, you know. We're not going to blame him.
He's a smart man.
Yeah, he is.
Emma Bloom back in up top for Rollins. Shalisa Crowell, the freshman from Palm Harbor, Florida, back in as well.
My home, Clearwater.
You look at it so far, we still have 16 and change to go, but an impressive showing from Rollins. Here's a school that got to the national championship, and so no longer can you even if you weren't before. You can't fly under the radar. Targets on your back at all times.
It is.
And they've shown up today against a very good squad and done what you expect the number 2 team in the country to do.
To me, they all around good team. I mean, they are really solid everywhere. There's no weak spot that I can point, that I can say, Steven, their left back is bad, their center back. Everywhere they are solid. Our front line is their star, definitely. There's attacking line, but you keep mentioning they score a lot of goals. No wonder they did with all those players they have.
That group of Johnson, Bloom, and O'Brien, that starting 3 at the front, they are a handful, and then there's a lot more coming behind them.
Exactly. They remind me a lot on us, our forward line. They remind me of CSU forward line. That we are really deep there.
2-0. Rollins in front. Lee still trying to mount opportunity after opportunity, trying to see if they can get past Mary Spring, who's been a wall so far. Here's another set-piece chance coming from the near side. Popped up into the center. Dangerous ball. Lanter hit it on the ground, and it's deflected out and cleared from trouble for the moment. This one, a long-distance shot, will be high.
There was another great opportunity there. They should have scored. You know, that's a really weak finishing, and that final touch, final shot is not there for league, and that they can blame only themselves that they are not tied in this game or leading in this game, because they had at least 3 chances that they should have scored.
The build-up has been very good. The finishing has left something to be desired so far.
I'm sure they can address that. You know, it comes sometimes to composure and have that state of mind that I will score. You know, that you have intention to score. You know, not you shoot and you surprise yourself that you scored. You know, that's how it looked to me for Lee.
Weiss.
They're hoping to score.
Good ball played forward. O'Brien, one part of that front 3 that's been so dangerous, and she'll earn the corner for Rollins. It'll be their 5th of the match with under 14 minutes to go as the time starting to get late on Lee. They've been held scoreless to this point.
O'Brien will have some career. First year in college soccer, you know, and she looking really good like this.
Mary Springs, as we mentioned, 2nd in the Rollins program history in shutouts, and she's 13-20 and counting away from adding another one to her tally. Left-footed corner kick, bends behind the post and out. And right now, though, Rollins isn't worried about getting in the net. They're worried about just getting through the last 13 minutes, keeping it out of the net.
They're going to definitely... They already did. They already have pulled their midfielders back. They're keeping their forwards up high, you know, but they are full. They're going to pulling back. They don't leaving much room in the midfield. That's a good pressure, but they're not afraid. Lee's not afraid to play out the back, to do passing games.
And as you said, and you thought they would, Rollins has stayed on the attack. There has been no bouncing back and staying and playing in that bunker style with a 2-goal lead. They're continuing to charge forward.
No, they're not built to. I mean, they can, but they know that's not their style. You know, it's they're gonna play the way they play, and if they better. If they lose, they lose. You know, but they play their game. You know, they're not afraid to play the way they. There's not big tactics for them, you know. They just themselves.
Alicia Shuck in her 5th year, trying to start this one off on a winning note and build upon what they did last year. There's only one more spot to go for Rollins, and that is to bring home the hardware at the end of the year to be the last team standing. This one popped up and mishit on the part of Bloom, who's been quiet ever since Johnson got in on the goal.
I know what I see today, what I saw. I think they have a chance to get that final spot.
First impressions is what it's all about, and they've passed their first impression with flying colors with still 11:40 to go, though.
you know, as I said, you know, and I'm repeating myself, it's they don't have weak spot.
2-0, still where we stand. Clock was stopped as we tried to get back to play. It'll roll now. Lee searching for a pair of goals to get back in. They have the firepower to do so, and they've had the chances today to do so as well. It just hasn't worked out for them to this point.
They're playing really good soccer.
You see something right there that they like to do. Pass forward and then pass it back and then
Yeah.
go on the run after they pass it back. Get the defense coming forward.
That's a really good coaching. I mean, this is good coaching.
Chris Hennessy, he played a little soccer himself. He is an alumnus of Lee University. Was a terrific defender for them for 4 years up there in Cleveland. An assistant coach for 2 with this women's program, and now he is the man in charge. This one chipped
That's a
far
good ball.
post. Cleared for a moment, and it's going to come all the way back for a second opportunity.
You know, Weiss also is impressive. You know, she works from 18 to 18. She's hard worker. She good skill. She's everywhere. Vision of the game is good. You know, she is kind of coach's player. She likes to, you know, she do everything for her team. She's right now back there. She made defensive play, going back to midfield.
And that's the thing. We talk about how good the forwards are. Weiss in the midfield. Sickler's an All-American. Then you look at the back line and Jenkins and Taylor and that crew back there. And then Spring, who's such a phenomenal goalkeeper. It's, as you mentioned, there's a lot of pieces that you need to check off the list when you're trying to build a contender.
They have what it takes, you know, in terms of quality. You know, it's just matter of luck sometimes.
This is the aforementioned Weiss working one-on-one against Cloud. A lot of one-on-one tight battles, physical in this contest. Haven't been a lot of fouls called. The
Not at
referees
all.
have done a good job.
They did. I mean, that's why they didn't pull those cards, because this been really fair game. That's really, they're playing clean soccer.
This one, the first one we saw right before this between West Florida and Tusculum was physical, and it had more than 20 fouls. Both teams had more than 10 per side. This time they swallowed the whistle a little bit. Different referee crew have allowed them to play some, and we only have 11 to this point.
And girls playing fair. They're playing hard. They're competing hard, but everything is fair. You know, I didn't see nothing cheap, nothing, you know, malicious.
Remember, we still have one more match to go here on Cougar Sports TV. We hope you'll stick with us for that one. Tony and I will be back for a 7:30 kickoff. It'll be number 5 Columbus State going up against Lynn University in the season opener. Crossing pass here, deflected just outside the box. Bloom with it. She'll take the shot just high of the crossbar.
That's a good quality. I mean, she missed the goal, but she didn't have much room. She controlled the ball within a yard, one step, and shot. I like that kind of quick thinking.
Sub coming on. It's your favorite player. Bricker's coming back out for Lee.
Yeah, I mean, I need to see more from her. You know, I think she can really make difference for this team. She can. She has quality. She playing that. She's number 10, and what we call in soccer, you know, she playing that number 10 position, the creative midfielder, attacking midfielder.
Rollins still on the attack, crossing into the center. Bloom with it there on the foot of the goalkeeper, Gribbler, and on the foot of Bloom. And Gribbler has the advantage because she gets to use her hands.
Stephanie Lowry was number 10 for us. You know, I'm not sure we have true number 10. We didn't have it last year, true number 10. We'll see if anybody's going to be this year, that creative player, that magical player.
That ball deflected up over the end line. Columbus State head coach Jay Etlick playing the part of ball boy down on the end of the field.
He's going to get pizza after the game.
That's what I heard. I'm excited about that. The day started back at noon here in Columbus. Rollins wanting a handball there against Chickowitz. we won't finish tonight until around 9:15 or so, and that's barring overtime in the finale.
I hope not.
You and me both. Played forward, and the offside flag thrown up as Hollingsworth tried to make a run down that far side with just under 7 minutes to go.
I'm leaving in the morning, getting up 4:30. I'm leaving at 5, going to Jacksonville. I have a game in 11 in Jacksonville, and with my U team, with my Red Star team.
Well, you're a better man than I.
Oh, you're going to be sleeping
at 4:30 in the morning. The only thing I'm seeing is the inside of my eyelids.
I'm just training for my deer hunting time.
Fair enough. The opposite side, O'Brien now driving down the left side. Been on the right side all day, but got switched on the field here. Bloom playing right there with her. Down to 6 minutes to go. Rollins a 2-0 lead on Lee. Bricker over in the corner took it away and got the clearance to get it out of trouble.
Steven, you didn't know that I hunt.
I didn't know you hunted. I knew
I
you
do
fished.
Quail, I fish, I hunt. So you know how they call me Redneck Deluxe, because I am European. Fully trained and certified, Georgia.
I don't know if I'll refer to you as that in the nightcap, but we'll see. No promises. 2-0, Rollins trying to put the finishing touches here on what would be a very good win in the season opener, and a win that's going to look better as this year goes along. 5 and change now. The Tars, after a 20-3 campaign a year ago, set to improve to 1-0 in 2015. Nifty move there by Chikowitz. Playing it forward, trying to connect with Lanter, but Rollins squeezing that middle, able to keep it.
That's a lot better, Crowell. First touch was like a brick touch, it's like brick foot. Now it was a lot better that time.
Deflected away by Thacker. Bloom just trying to shield off as Rollins has reached the point now where they're just willing to kill some time and sit on the ball.
All of us coaches, Steven, we can absolutely standing that first diabolic first touch when ball bounces off of them like off a pole, and they can control it just in their heads, that concentration.
It's about having soft feet.
Evident in your soft something in your head, to be composed, calm. They think they're under the pressure and they think like somebody throwing hand grenade at them.
Down to 4 minutes left on the scoreboard showing, as now Matt Jackson is going to wave back Cloud and make sure that she throws in from the right spot. Lee on the move, trying to find a way to break through the puzzle that is Mary
That's a
Spring.
great move.
Foul committed, and they're going to stop the clock, so we'll see.
I'm telling you, Lanter is a player. She has some spectacular moves.
They're going to bring out the yellow card on Kelly McCormick. I think Matt Jackson was counting the number of people he had given warnings to, and then finally said, all right, you get the yellow.
Good referee.
He has done a nice job. He's kept things under control, but not too tightly.
It's very important that the referee feels the game. It's very, very important for a good game.
Chikowitz, weird spin on that ball as it came off her foot.
Yeah, we always say, less you hear from referee, less he's visible in a game. That's better game.
You almost want to forget that he's out there. O'Brien coming off. A good start to her collegiate career today. The freshman out of West Springfield, Massachusetts. That is a long way from home.
Well, welcome to college soccer, O'Brien, and I'm sure we're going to hear from you a lot more.
Have a foul coming up against Lee. Again, they're trying to pick up the physicality a little bit in desperation mode with 3 minutes to go. For Lee, they will get Columbus State. The road doesn't get any easier for them on Sunday. But that's the way Chris Hennessy wanted to open up, test this team.
Good
figure out what you're
control.
made of.
Good control.
Bloom, a nice job there. Keeps control for Rollins.
All three forwards are just exceptional players. Bloom has a soft touch, good control, and they all are good athlete too.
Bloom
They're
out of
strong.
Maitland, Florida, a junior. Maura Johnson, part of that crew, a junior out of Orlando, so they're not going to lose any of them, barring unforeseen circumstances. There's still
Yeah.
an entire year plus after this one.
I know Brian for 4 years.
2:10 remaining as Mary Spring inching even closer to yet another shutout.
She really, in all honesty, had to make really one great save in first half. The rest of them were at her. She was perfect in fundamentals of the game.
Lanter, a good move to step by. Block for a moment. Block recovered, though. She'll switch fields. Connects with Bricker on the far side.
Come on, Bricker, show me something.
Bricker going
Ooh.
for that far post. It slid wide of the mark. Spring in good position to defend it had it been on target. And we'll see if they'll get another chance with just 90 seconds to go.
That was connection I was telling you. I was looking the other way around, at Brickers. So, but it doesn't matter, Lanter and her got to look for each other. Exactly what happened that time. And Bricker has both left and right foot. I noticed that first half, so just she got to insert herself more in a game.
You mentioned Spring really only had to make one, but it was a huge one
Huge
because
save.
it was scoreless at the time that it happened early, and who knows how this game would have gone had Blanchard been the one that netted the first goal instead of Bloom.
That would be a really, really tight game. It wouldn't put past that Lee might have surprised in this game.
Yeah, you may have had a flip of
Yeah.
the score that way, the way
It
this
could
one has
have.
gone.
Could just as easily.
Lee trying to rush it forward with 35 seconds to go. Rollins is going to improve to 1-0 on the season as the Tars try to get back to the national championship game in 2015. A good start for them, as it looks like, barring a late goal, they're going to pick up a 2-0 victory. Emma Bloom put them on the board first, back in the 21st minute, and in the 55th minute, it was Maura Johnson who finally converted after she missed a chip shot just prior. And the clock will tick down from 10, and it will be a 2-0 victory for the defending national runner-up and Rollins. An impressive showing against a very good Lee squad.
Impressive by both teams. I mean, I'm impressed by both of them. Obviously, Rollins have a little bit more quality. You got a little bit better players, but I like what Lee has done to this game. And it's going to be a game. It's not going to be easy for Columbus State in a Sunday game against Lee. I mean, very impressed with this Lee team.
Columbus State and Lee will play at 4:30 on Sunday. Rollins will be back here at 11:30 on Sunday morning to take on Newberry. And we will have all of those games for you the rest of the way here on Cougar Sports TV. Partner, it was fun, one in the books. We've got about 45 minutes to do
Let's
another
cool
one.
off a little bit.
We'll take a break here on Cougar Sports TV. Come back in about 40 minutes from now. It'll be the number 5 team in the host school. Columbus State will take on Lynn in the nightcap of our first day of the CSU Collegiate Invitational. Match number 3 belongs to the second-ranked team in the country. Rollins wins it over Lee 2-0 here on Cougar Sports TV.